Once a man reaches 40, there is no such thing as enjoyment in life. What remains is is responsibility. There are 5 fears that gets unlocked when a man reaches their 40s. And unfortunately, these are my fears that wake me up every single night. Now, before you roast me and go, hey mate, you look like you don't have pubes yet. Well, thanks to my Asian genes, this is evidence of me blowing my 40th birthday candle. Happy birthday. All right, let's get straight to it. Fear number 1, the fear of not being able to make enough money. Back in the days when I was like 35, 38, even 39, I was like, yeah, I still got time. But once the 40 crushes upon you, you start to realize that, man, I don't have enough time to make the money I want to make. Like, this is like nearly half my life. For me personally, I have a wife, I have 2 young boys, as you can see from the video, 6 and 8. I have elderly parents. I also have a business, an office. I have staff. All that requires money. Every month, there's money for family overhead, mortgages, private school fees, fees to take care of my elderly parents, and also, office fees, rent, wages for my staff. And sometimes as men, we get afraid that if we stop making the mullah, the money, who is going to keep all those ecosystems running? And thus the burden of making enough money bears on our shoulder. Fear number 2 is the fear that our parents who are in our 70s and 80s, my mum in her 80s, will eventually get sick. My dad passed away when he was 73 to a stroke, and he was first gen Aussie over here. And my mum, she's 83 years old right now, and 2 weeks ago we celebrated her birthday. And it's just a time thing, right? The things that go in our minds thinking, when is she next? And fear number 3 is you start to think as you enter the 40, whether your other half, your partner, your wife or your husband, really understands the things that's going in your head or your heart at all sometimes. Look, I have a fantastic marriage, mind you, fantastic marriage, but you sometimes think, are you at the peak of where you are with your spouse? Do they really fully comprehend what's here and here? And fear number 4 is for men with kids, myself, 2 boys. You have this inkling fear that one day they won't listen to you anymore. And moreover, you start to think, are you putting them on the right path? My kids are in private school, but am I doing the best I could with the resources I have that are putting them on the right path to success? And fear number 5, which is the biggest fear of all, is one day these fears will be passed on to my boys, and they'll be thinking the same way about me. And I'll be old. Like, I'm afraid that they will have the same fears as me. It's like a perpetual loop of the fear that men have. Sort of like a poverty curse, right? It's like a generational curse. Like, I'm passing these fears onto my kids. And that is the biggest fear of all. I don't know, I'm just talking shit, right? So jump in the comments. Let me know whether you share the same fears as me. And yes, thank you for your birthday wishes.